Okay, you there, Max Q? You there?
Yes, Rob, I'm listening.
Hey, Max Q, I like you, Max Q. You're my producer.
What can I do for you, man?
You know what? I want to stay with you as my producer. That's what I'm going to do for you. Bless your heart, Max Q. I'm keeping you as my producer. But this is what you're going to do for me.
What can I do for you, man?
You listening, Max Q?
Yes, I'm listening.
This is very important and personal. Heck, it might even be in the rules of golf.
What can I do for you?
You ready, Max Q?
Yes, I'm ready.
Because I don't start the show without hearing it. You ready?
I'm ready, Rob. Yes, I'm ready.
Here it is. I don't think you're ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
I love the Golf Kingdom. I love the Golf Kingdom. Say it with me.
I love the Golf Kingdom.
Say it. Come on, brother. Say it with me. It feels so good.
I love the Golf Kingdom!
Louder or I don't start the show. Louder, Max Q. I gotta hear you.
I love the Golf Kingdom!
Congrats, Max Q. You are still my producer, and I will now start the show.
Grandma, are you still there?
Let's bring in the blueprint for our show. As always, we start off with the Build It segment, and we're going to go putting to help your game. Then we're going to jump over to the black and white set, and we're going to discuss exactly the correct way your body needs to move to hit pitch shots. In the middle segment, we've got just hot air. Yeah, those weird things your friends say that are maybe myths and misconceptions, and a big fish segment. And then you're going to find the pop culture right there, the Karate Kid, to help your game. In the bottom segment, we've got a tip from the Golf Kingdom app. And as always, we're going to close with Time to Rise. Are you ready? Because it's time to build here in the Golf Kingdom.
Welcome to the #1 golf variety show in the world, the Golf Kingdom. Are you ready to build your game? Here's your host, Rob Strano.
Well, it's build a time here in the Golf Kingdom, and we're going to complete your putting with 3 things to help you putt better on the greens. And they're things I see players messing up all the time. I mean, all the time they struggle with these 3 specific things. So let's get going on these because I want y'all to putt better and make more putts. Making putts is like being a good shooter in basketball. Man, if you can't shoot the ball, you can't score and you can't win. Well, in putting, if you can't get it in the hole, you can't score and you can't win. Let's get after these 3 keys of putting. First one I want to talk about is this. I want to talk about how the club sits on the ground. Now, when we have a putter here, this is the heel of the putter, and this is the toe of the putter. So right here, the part nearest the hosel is the heel. This is called the toe, but we're not going to call it the toe. We're going to call it the nose of the putter for this little drill. A lot of players, when they put the putter in, they sit with the nose of the putter up in the air like that, right there. So the nose of the toe is way up off the ground. Here's what you don't know about that. When the putter is way toe up, or nose up we're talking about here, it's actually aimed left. Now let's come to the low view here, Daredevil, and here's what you're going to see. I'm going to hit a few putts from the low view. When you put the putter down like that, and the toes up, I'm aiming the lines right in the middle of the cup here. They're aimed right in the middle. But when I take a normal good stroke, the ball will miss just to the left. Look, it went right by the hole on the left. Watch again. I've got the heel down and the nose up, and I take a good normal stroke, and the ball goes right by the left of the hole. Bang, the same exact stroke twice. Now, the nose of the putter right here. This is the nose we talked about. I want you to feel like you're going to sniff the green with the nose. So when you put the putter in, you're going to sniff the green like this right here. It'll get the putter standing up more. So I want to get it in there. Nose, sniffing the green, so that when you put it down and relax with your grip, you can see, man, it's sitting perfect now. So when I make a good stroke, boom, it goes right in the middle. Come back up to me, Daredevil. So first thing, right here, we get the putter up on the nose. That way when you grab it, it'll sit flat on the green and you won't aim left. If you're missing left, try sniffing the green, and I bet you don't miss it left anymore. Now, second part is sticking the finish when you putt. I see a lot of players, and it's quite entertaining. They hit putts, and they're moving all over the place after they hit it. Well, we can't do that. We've got to take a stroke, and we've got to hit the ball and stick the finish, not be moving all over the place. So I see a lot of players, it'll look like this. They'll get over a putt, and they'll hit it, and immediately they'll hit, and they'll start with the body language action. No, you don't want to hit the ball and start wiggling around like a worm on a hook. You want to get set and you want to get in there and hit the putt and stick the finish and stay right there. Boom. Hit the putt, stick the finish, and stay. Super important pieces right there to help your putting. Now, the last thing that's really important in helping your putting is staying in your posture when you putt. It kind of goes with the wiggling. When you putt, you don't want to hit it and stand up as you come into the ball. You want to stay down and through the putt. I see a lot of players that come through the putt and they come out of their posture trying to hit up on it and make it roll. You hit up on it because the ball positions forward towards your left toe. The putter is now rising. You don't rise with the rising putter. You stay in the putt as you come through. Don't rise with it, and you'll hit the ball more solid and make more putts. This has been 3 great things to help your putting here in the Build It segment. You know, there's a lot of simple concepts in golf that get messed up, and that's why we have the KISS segment. Keep it simple, Strano KISS. Mwah. Simple things to help you understand simple concepts in golf. And number 1 we're going to talk about today, actually it's the only thing we're going to talk about today in the KISS segment. It's not 1, it's not A, it's not B, it's just the one thing, is how do you choke down the club? So when you have to choke down, maybe for a chip shot or for a shot that's not full, how do you properly grip down on the grip to get it right? And here's how it gets messed up. So when you grip the club, it looks like this. The heel pad's here and the ends of the fingers are there. The problem is you'll look at where your fingers are in relation to the end of the grip right here and say, I'm choked down. But look at, no, you're not, because right there, there's no choking down going on in that grip. The grip is right at the end of my heel pad. It's got to be the heel pad is off the end of the grip. So see that right there? I've choked down and I've got all this extra grip showing on the back side of the heel of my hand. Not the fingers there, the heel pad here. So in order to get the choke down right, we've got to choke down a little bit to hit a little half shot or choke down to hit a little short chip shot. When you grip it, I'm looking at this relationship right here, not that one there. If you get that right, you'll be able to hit these little short shots a ton better. And this has been Keep It Simple, Strano. Yeah, the simple one thing to help your game here in the Golf Kingdom in the KISS segment. Mwah! That's for you to keep it simple here in the Golf Kingdom. Now, let's get into the black and white suit here and help you with your short game, understanding one super key thing, and it's how your left leg is your axis for hitting these pitch shots. If you struggle with these 20, 30, 40, 50-yard pitch shots, it's more than likely because you're shifting and moving around and don't understand the simple concept of pitching your weight a little bit onto your lead side, maybe 60%, and staying there. Yeah, you don't want to be moving around and changing this low point of the swing. Here's a great thought. So once again, we're talking about the lead leg. It's the axis. So I'm locking it here, and my swing looks right around this lead leg, just like this. You don't see me going right and left. I'm locked. I stay locked and pivot around it. One thing you could do is just take your club while you're standing around, take it, lean it up against your lead hip, put it against your lead shoe like that. Hold it there, lean into it now, and just simply make swings turning around this club. If I move off of it, you can see the gap there now. I don't want to move off of it. I want to stay right here. Lean into the lead leg, take my backswing however far I'm going to go. I'm going to go here and turn through and come right around that lead side just like that. I don't want to get here, lean left, and then bump into it and knock it over. So imagine it's kind of a brick wall right here. I got this wall, I'm leaned into it, and as I swing, I am pivoting around this lead axis point around the lead leg. Practice this move. You can do it with the club in your hand or without, but I'm going to get pitched on this lead leg for this pitch shot, and I'm going to stay right here. I'm not going to move off of it. Moving off of it is the biggest error you can make. Front leg heavy, stay front leg heavy, finish front leg heavy. You'll clip the ball off the turf every time and hit these shots a lot more clean. So good image here, right, this left side, club up against it, stay right there. It's going to help you hit these pitch shots a ton better. Well, you want some great stuff, more secrets, tips to help your game? I need you to download the Golf Kingdom app. Yeah, go to your app store, download the app. Here you have daily tips from me. You've got all the shows right here in the show library, and then all the segments are broken out so you can get everything to help your game in full swing, chipping, putting. Go to your app store, get the Golf Kingdom app, try the 7-day free trial, and I guarantee you'll find all kinds of great stuff to help your game. Okay, if we see these guys, yeah, the Executive Air guys, for all your cooling, refrigeration, and heating needs, you know it's time for It's Just Hot Air. Yeah, things that you hear, maybe the myths and misconceptions of golf that are just hot air. They're wrong, they're not right. And I'm gonna talk to you about a specific one that I keep hearing all the time, and it's keep your head behind the ball. That leads to a big problem. I got an example of it here that we're gonna look at. I've got a tour player who is obviously working on keeping his head behind the ball, and it led to injury. So what you see here is they're setting up to hit this shot. I'm gonna put my finger on the side of his head, and you're gonna see in the downswing here, his head will go dramatically backwards. So there it is. Whoa, look how far backwards that head went. That's a problem. When you're going backwards trying to keep your head behind the ball, you're putting strain on your lower back. Let's look at it again in slow motion here. He goes back, head's there. Now watch, look at how much it goes backwards, and then it comes forward. So he's going backwards and then coming forwards. That just hurts my back doing that. But you hear players all the time talk about trying to keep their head behind the ball. We're gonna watch it here again. We're gonna actually stop it so you can see how much he does this. So I got my finger on his head here as he's swinging back. That's where he started. Now watching the downswing, he's gonna go backwards. Here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Pause. Look at how far he's gone back, right there. That's a ton of back. That puts a lot of reverse curve in his body and hurts his back. Now, let's jump to the big screen here and let's talk about this move. So big wide view, here I am. We're looking at what happens when we try to stay behind the ball. So let me get a ball in here so I got a reference point for you guys looking at things. So as I swing, when I'm going forwards here, I want to move athletically through the shot. If you're trying to stay behind it, what I see players do is you go back and you try to stay behind it and you end up doing what that player does. You stay more behind it and you get right heavy. I would rather you think athletic thoughts. Move yourself athletically to your right foot and athletically to your left foot and move like you're throwing a ball. We talk about that all the time. So this myth and misconception of keep your head behind it, that leads to you really keeping your head behind it, and you end up with your head over your trail leg here, trying to hit the ball. That leads to tops and fats. You want to move here, going back, a little shift to the right, then coming down, move athletically forward with your upper body, turning your hips this way, not sliding your hips with your head, turning this hip back and letting your head come forward and getting on top of the ball so you're not going backwards and topping it. So move athletically and you'll get rid of that myth and misconception of staying behind the ball. This has been another great tip in the Just Hot Air segment brought to you by Executive Air. Visit them for all your heating, cooling, and refrigeration needs. Okay, so it's our big fish segment, and if we got a big fish, we got big muscles. I'm doing my curls here, building my muscles. Man, I'm really pumped up here between the last segment and this one. And big fish, big club, big muscles. We're gonna talk to those of you out there that are muscling the golf club and not letting it swing. Yeah, not letting the weight of the club swing is hurting your game. Let me explain that. Let's come to the wide view here. I'm gonna put my little curling little weight here away. So I got the big club. So we're gonna talk about muscling the club when you go back. Here's what I see, especially with kids. So kids that don't have muscles yet. So this is for kids and adults, everybody that muscles it, is as you go back, you weight lift the club like this. So this arm doesn't extend and you're basically doing curls with the golf club going back. So as you go back, you take this club and you curl it like this and weight lift it. So you make it lighter. So when the club stands up like this, it's real light. When it goes like that, it's heavier. So more the club head's behind my hands, the heavier it gets. So as the player goes back, you weight lift it and make it light. That's not what you want to do. You want to take this club and let the head weight swing. So I let the weight swing, the club gets wide. I'm swinging the weight and I'm taking that weight and letting it swing way over there. I'm keeping the weight of the club away from me, not trying to weight lift it and bring it in close. Think about this. Look at your video. Make sure you're swinging the club away. Take it, that weight, that heavy club, swing it away. Let the weight swing, especially coming through. Just like you can weight lift it going back, you can weight lift it coming through and do this and have no extension here. If you're topping it, that's probably a good reason is you're getting to the ball and then weight lifting the club right here instead of letting the weight swing. So our lesson here in the big fish with the big club, let all this weight right here swing back and swing through. And you know what? If you let the weight swing, you'll hit better shots. It's pop culture time here in the Golf Kingdom, and one of the fun things I love to do is use movies to help your game. And we're going Karate Kid, yeah, wax on, wax off, paint to fence, sand to floors, all those great things from the Karate Kid, but we're going to talk about paint to fence or paint the wall. In short game, I sometimes use the reference of a paint stroke to help players get control of their short game. So I happen to have a paintbrush. Let me give an example of a right way and a wrong way to paint a wall. So if I go to paint this wall right here, I would paint it by simply just doing this, right? Just my arm going back and through or up and down, my arm going like that. It looked really weird if I started wiggling my hips around while I'm painting the wall. That looks kind of weird if I start wiggling around like this while I'm painting. I don't want to wiggle around when I putt. I want to stay nice and still. So if I'm painting a wall, I'm doing it just like this, up and down, nice and smooth. Stroke isn't changing speeds. I'm not doing this and throwing paint on the floor. I'm not doing that and throwing paint on the floor. And I'm certainly not painting and wiggling like this. So when you chip, let's grab a club here and bring a club in. When you chip the ball, you get set up, feet close together, weight is pitched on your lead foot a little bit, they're locked in place, and we're trying to keep this piece still. Just like I'm painting a wall with both hands, my hands and arms are going to lift the club up and come through, and I'm going to be very calm with my lower body till after I hit it. After I hit it, because my chest is turning, my lower body will move. But back and through, I want the paint. I want the Karate Kid painting move here. So grab your paintbrush at home. Start painting right here. So you're going to paint from the ball to the back swing stops and come right back down to the ball. I'm just going to paint like that. Right here, paintbrush. Here's my paint. I'm painting this spot right here. After I've done painting, I paint it, and then my body turns through nice. Even grab a paintbrush, put it in your hand. This will be a great drill, the Karate Kid paintbrush drill right here, to not get your hips moving all over the place and not change speeds and be throwing paint on the floor or paint on the ceiling. Stay nice and smooth as you do this. Karate Kid paintbrush, do that to help your short game. Now stay tuned for more fun stuff coming up here in the Golf Kingdom. Alexa, open Golf Kingdom.
Welcome to Golf Kingdom. Here's your golf tip of the day.
Welcome to the Golf Kingdom. I am your host, Rob Strano, and here is today's Pro Pointer. Alexa, stop. If you want more pro pointers from me via your Amazon-enabled skill at the Golf Kingdom, be sure to go there and enable it. Every day I give you a new tip free with your Amazon-enabled device. So enable the Golf Kingdom and you'll get a tip from me, your host, Rob Strano, every day. Welcome back to the Golf Kingdom and more fun with short game. Short game is so important because we don't hit all 18 greens. We're going to have to chip and putt sometimes to get a good score. So we've got to be able to deal with these short little shots. Nothing is more frustrating than traveling 440 yards and 2 great swings and having this little chip shot and then taking 2 chips and 2 putts to get in the hole and it just blows up our score. Tempo is gigantically important. And I've got a simple thought I gave one of my junior golfers. Yes, it was one of the little girls I coach. She's 10, 11 years old, but she was whacking at her chip shots. I gave her a simple tip, and it solved the problem. And it goes to something we probably all have at home, and that is a pet. So behind me, I've got a little golden retriever here on the ground. So fun little dog head cover, little golden retriever. And here's the thought I gave her. I said, here's your golden retriever, here's its nose. I don't want you to swing and bloody the nose of your golden retriever. Look, if I swing and hit it hard like that, I'm going to bloody the nose of my puppy. We don't want to do that. I said, I want you to come down and just lightly bump the nose. Just lightly hit it. Let's come to the low view. Look what I'm talking about. So at the low view, here's the club. I don't want to come down and smash him in the nose, bang, hard like that. I want to come down and just kind of lightly bump him in the nose and just softly hit the ball. Come back to me on the big view. Remember, the club is a hard club. The ball is a hard ball. This interaction between the two is really hard. We don't need to make it harder. We want to make nice, soft contact with the ball, hit it, and let it roll. So once again, I love golden retrievers. They're a couple of my favorite dogs are golden retrievers. So when I come down, I don't want to bloody his nose and knock him across the green. I want to come down and lightly brush him in the nose, just bump him and go on through. And this will give you softer contact when you chip the ball. Reminder, if you haven't done it yet, download the Golf Kingdom app. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool things on your daily feed, including a tip from me to help your game. I put those out there all the time from the lesson tee. And you know what those tips look like? They kind of look like that. Hey there, Golf Kingdom app users. It's your host, Rob Strano. And I just talked about something in a lesson that I want to share with you. It involves checking your lie before you hit a golf shot. And it's something I didn't realize I did until I was playing the other day. What happened was I was actually walking, carrying my bag. I put the bag down. I had 180 yards. I grabbed a 6-iron out of the bag. I walked over and I put the club behind the ball right there. And then I walked back here and went into my pre-shot routine. What was interesting was I didn't know I did it until I thought about going through my routine with another player. So when you get up to the ball, you got to check the lie. You got to know, how does the club look behind the ball? And you go, ooh, that ball's sitting down a little bit. I might need to play a little different shot. Or, oh, that's sitting good. This is the right club. So I just casually walked up, put the club behind it, saw it looked, and then went back here and went to my routine. So be sure, as part of your pre-shot preparation, is you're checking your lie just by putting the club behind it to see how it looks. Well, here we are back in the black and white set for some black and white coaching. Yeah, simple, clear coaching, easy to see stuff. And we're going to talk about lead leg, trail leg action, first in the backswing, and then right through impact, kind of into the follow through, kind of help you get to the spot coming through the ball, understanding what to look for on your video when you're taking your cell phone video. Let's talk about in the backswing, lead leg action, how it should move and how it shouldn't move. The error you make with the lead leg, for me, being a right-handed player, it's my left leg, the lead leg error is that this knee will go straight out that way. So if I go back and the knee pops forward like that, you can see the difference between my knees here, that's a wrong move. I don't want lead knee popping out going over the end of my shoe like that. That's a gigantic error. From the front view, you'll see me tip forward when I do that. Hard to hit a golf ball when you make that move. Here's the correct move to get the left knee, or the lead knee. Get set up, this knee will move inward and get closer to this one, and this one won't move. So the backswing move looks like that right there. One thing you can do is take the club, put it right between your feet, hold it against your belt buckle, right here, take a backswing, and try to touch your knee to the club right there. So you can see I've got it standing up, and I'm touching my thigh to the club as I go back right there. I'm trying to keep the club standing straight, and I'm going right there and touching it. It's not going forward where it's not gaining any back movement. It's got to move towards the trail knee. Now, at impact, to get your hips open at impact and stop all the sliding going on, you want to see a different move out of the lead knee. So the backswing, the lead knee looks like that. It's not popping out like this. It comes this way. Now in the downswing, what you're going to see is this knee is going to appear behind my black pants. So as I come down, that move right there, you see this knee appearing behind my pants as I come down. So knee in, and now knee goes back, and that pushes that lead hip open. From here, it looks like that. Hip goes back, knee goes back, opens hips. Practice these without a club first. Take the club, throw it away. Practice this move, and then that move without a club to get it just right. Well, it's a special time to rise where I'm not going to talk, but maybe I am. Check out this interview I did, and then we'll talk about it when we come back. about conditions, and he said, I used to love it when I'd arrive at a tournament and I'd hear guys complaining about the course or the weather. And he said, I already knew I had those guys beat. One of the guys I coached on tour was a guy named Jay Williamson, and we were playing over in Jackson, and I was over there working with him on his game, and it was 1,000 degrees that week. And everybody, the news guys were out there covering the heat. They weren't covering a tournament. They're like, how are these guys going to survive this week? Yeah. It's like the face of the sun. Right. And they interviewed me on the putting green right before Jay got there, and they said, what are you telling your player about the heat this week? And this is what I said, and it's pretty close. You can look it up online, the video's still there. I said, I told my player, when you get off the plane, I want you to feel the heat and love it. I said, Superman gets his power from the sun.
There you go.
I want you to get your power this week from the heat.
I need to call you every week.
Interesting thing to think about there is not everything's perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. You've got to find the positives in things. Like I said there, draw your power from the sun like Superman. You got to figure out in those tough situations how you can become the superhero in those moments. Well, that was another fun, action-packed Golf Kingdom. Let's bring in our Stranos and recap two things that I want you to remember from this show. First off, in pitching, we talked about the left leg is the axis of pitch shots. Yes, you don't want to be shifting around. Left leg is axis. Stay still on it and turn around your left leg when hitting those pitch shots. Then we talked about don't weight lift the golf club. Yes, swing the weight of the club. Let the club feel heavy when you swing it. If you weight lift it, it messes you up. Now, for more great Golf Kingdom stuff, be sure you download our app. Everything's there. All the shows, all the segments, and a daily feed from me. And remember, I gave you that little app tip today in the show, but there's way more stuff there. If you have an Alexa device, enable the Golf Kingdom skill, and you'll get an audio tip from me, your host, Rob Strano, every day. And as always, we're out there on social media, all the platforms. Thanks again for being here with me in the Golf Kingdom.
Hey, did you know the human head weighs more than a golf ball?